Come on, just die already. Are you kidding me? Thank you. What? Are you... And of course I splash. There we go, finally. Are you... Thank you? Finally, that always happens to me. Hello everyone, my name is AndrewAJT and we are back with another Dagannoth Kings video for you all. So in the last video we reached around 10,200 total Dagannoth Kings kill count, which means we were very unlucky with the pet drop, which is my main goal. I really just want to get one of the 3 Dagannoth Kings pets at least, maybe more if I can, which has a drop rate in 1 in 5,000, and I have a lot of ring clips to show you guys, and maybe we'll finally get some luck with that pet. Look at this moonwalk, by the way. Boom. I don't know how I did that exactly, but it looked really cool. So I have about 70 clips to show of mostly rings, and I'm going to edit them down to around 5 seconds each, and then I'll see you guys in about 2 days when I'm done editing them. Well, that didn't quite take 2 days, more like 3 hours, but it sure felt like it. If you haven't seen one of my Dagannoth Kings videos before, basically I'm just going to show all of the rings in quick succession without really commentating it. So this is the Dragon Spear drop, which I've gotten at least a couple of before, and this is actually a little bit rarer than the pet. I will show some footnotes in this video, and also some of my clue loots as well, because I did get these clues from Dagannoth Kings, so I might as well include them in the loot. But yeah, I'm not going to say, oh, look at that warrior ring, oh, look at that berserker ring. I'm just going to talk about other things as I show you all of these drops. I promise that it won't be too many clue loots in this video. I had a few really good ones to show up front, 2 D-hide boots and also a Z-page. I think those were all on the same day too. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about how I make a video like this and why it takes so long. So I'm always recording my gameplay at Dagannoth Kings unless I just happen to forget, which you might see in a couple of the clips where the recording starts and it's just the ring drop already on the ground, but that doesn't happen too often. So I'm always recording, and whenever I get a ring drop, I will save the recording as the file name of whatever ring it is. So if it's the first warrior ring since the last video, I'll name it Warrior Ring 1, and then maybe a few weeks later I'll be up to Warrior Ring 7, and on from there, obviously with all 4 rings, and maybe some other miscellaneous drops as well. I think we get some weird things in here, like a talisman that's really rare later, or also like back-to-back dragon axes. Maybe I'll save some special clips like that. But for the most part, it's just grinding out these rings, and I've been getting quite a lot of them since the last video. I've gotten pretty lucky with them overall, I think even luckier than the previous video, and of course we'll tally up all the ring drops in the end. The good thing about my system, and why it doesn't even take longer than it could, is because the ring drop will naturally always be at the end of the recording because I save it right after I get the ring. So it's not like I have to sit through maybe 40 hours of Dagannoth Kings footage and find all of these rings. I pretty much know that I can go to the end of every single one of these clips and it will be there. And if I don't get a ring within 20 minutes or so, I'll just restart the recording, so I don't have like a 2-hour recording with a warrior ring at the end, which can save me a little bit of hard drive space. But once this video is over, it's really the best feeling ever to delete like 40 gigabyte of ring files, if that is even a real word. These are all very recent ring drops too, by the way. The oldest one is maybe mid-April, and we're in early May, and they should mostly be in chronological order too, which is nice. And the reason that I have so many clips in this time period is just because I've been pushing very hard to try to get this pet drop, just thinking, you know, maybe one more trip I can get it, or I'm almost getting it soon, or I'm very close. So I've just been very persistent with Dagannoth Kings recently. I haven't really done a lot in game other than go for this pet. It's pretty much been the main thing I've been doing when I'm online. The good thing about this is even if I don't get a pet, I'm still making a lot of GP in the process, as you can tell right there. So that's a nice perk, and also this boss is still fairly enjoyable for me. I find it fun to do, just because of the variety you have. If this was like Thermi or Sire or some other bullshit boss that was annoying or slow or very click intensive, I think I would have given up a long time ago. The other thing I wanted to talk about in this video, because we have a little bit of time, is the prevalence of third-party clients in old school RuneScape now. Of course, in the last video, the Decaying one, I talked a little bit about the concerns I have with kind of fringe third-party clients that are not widely used, but are definitely a real problem, such as the ones that switch prayers for you or can reveal the location of another player. Those things are crazy, and very few people use them. I'm sure there's more people using them than we would think, but that's really not the concern for this video, although those are a major concern. What I'm talking about is the third-party clients that everyone uses, myself included, such as RuneLite or OSBuddy, and how I think these clients are becoming almost a mainstay in the game where you pretty much have to use them. In the past, when third-party clients started coming up, maybe 5 years or so, roughly, I'm not exactly sure, people would say, oh, well, they don't really provide any advantage. It's just kind of a small little benefit, maybe makes things a little bit more convenient. But now I don't even know how I would do things in-game without a third-party client. It pretty much tells you where to click. It solves the puzzles for you. It tells you when the boss is going to spawn. It will help you when PKing because it tells you how long you're going to be frozen. You're really at a huge disadvantage if you do not use a third-party client, and I'm not blaming RuneLite or OSBuddy or any of the clients like that. They're just offering features that are allowed by Jagex. I'm just wondering, have things gone too far? I mean, we have features in clients where you can rearrange your prayers, which you cannot do in the main client, and you could also have a JAD plugin where it tells you what prayer to switch to. It seems like Jagex has been okay with some of this, at least. I don't know, should they be? Their main solution, in my eyes, has been recently to add a lot of these features to the main client, so the vanilla client is at a level playing field with the third-party clients, but the way I see it, the third-party clients will always be well ahead of the main client. So I'm wondering if you guys agree that this is a problem and if you have any solutions for this. I'm not really sure what Jagex should do about this. Maybe they should partner with RuneLite and make a lot of these features available for the vanilla client rather than having a third-party client. What I'm concerned of is in the future, maybe another third-party client will pop up and it'll be even better than RuneLite, and the people who run it might not be as trustworthy, and then suddenly everyone's going to start getting hacked because they're using a non-trustworthy third-party client, and you won't even be able to blame them because maybe that client will have even more advantages than these other clients that exist now. So there's certainly a lot of security risks with some of these third-party clients. I don't know any particular examples, but I've certainly heard of it happening before where people have been hacked because they were using a kind of fringe client that might not be very trustworthy. Also, what if one of the current trustworthy clients has some sort of hack from an outside source and information is leaked? That could be very scary. The other thing I wanted to touch on is Jagex has finally agreed to hide poll results in an experimental way, at least temporarily. And this is very good news because I think a lot of people just open the polls and they see, well, this is passing by 90%. What's even the point of voting? My vote won't have much of an impact. That poll is already passing by a lot or it's failing by a lot. And this actually adds up because all these people see that and they don't vote, and we lose out on maybe tens of thousands of votes. I mean, there's no real way to know for sure, but I think it would definitely be better if they hide these poll results, and I'm glad they're finally doing that. However, the thing that's really puzzling to me is the way they're going to do this, from my understanding. It seems like the poll results are going to be hidden permanently, at least until the poll is completed, which makes no sense. If you go on almost any polling website, or for example the YouTube community tab polls, which I do, you can see the poll results. You just have to vote first, and this is a very good system because a lot of people might be curious to see the poll results, and that causes them to vote, so you get more votes overall, which is a very good thing to have a larger sample size. So I don't know why Jagex just didn't do that. That's almost like the common sense thing to do. Again, any type of poll you vote on online, that's typically the option. You could even go a little bit in the other direction and make it so you have to go out of your way to check the poll results before voting. But I don't think that's really necessary because it's not like you're forcing people to vote when they don't want to, because there is a skip question option for every poll in old school RuneScape. So I don't know who's making these decisions. I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. I still think it's better, though, than having the poll results just plainly visible before you even vote. So at least we got some sort of progress in that department, and I hope they amend this change a little bit to make it the way I suggested. But I don't know, maybe I'm clueless about polling and all that. I'm not a person from like Gallup or something, so let me know what you think in the comments. So here's where the fun begins. So on a Saturday night, typically every single world is going to be full, as it was in this clip, or at least it's very difficult to find an open world. So in this situation, I typically like to just join a team, like a group of people doing DKs, and I offer to split rings, and most people are okay with this. These guys said they were almost done, so I figured this would be the most appropriate world to join. So this other guy decided to stick around, and I can't even show you all the things he was saying to me because he got quite angry, and I don't want this video to be age restricted, but he was pretty angry, as you can tell, and I'm about to get something that is pretty big karma for him. Boom, Archer's Ring. That's pretty good revenge. He basically was committed to trying to ruin and grief my trip, and there we go. That's 6 mil almost for me for his bad actions. But this guy is relentless. He says, I'm gonna make this your worst trip ever, which I think is already impossible because even if I didn't get any more rings for the rest of the trip, I already got an archer's ring, which makes this better than like 65% at least of Dagannoth Kings trips. But he's not going to give up. He's going to try to mess with the monsters and get multiple Dagannoth Kings on me at the same time. It's just really a dumb idea and it's not going to work out. I think he realized this as well. He was just trying to mess with me and it wasn't working, so he finally decided to teleport there.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Dude, it's fucking... Oh my... Oh my god. My mic was down. Oh my... Dude, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. It's over. Supreme Pet. Oh my god. No. Oh my god. Yes. Fucking yes. Yes, it's over. We're done with the first one at least. Oh my god.
Oh my god, finally it is over. We got our first Dagannoth Kings pet. That was on kill 12,534. You can see all our combined kill counts there. Certainly was a long journey to get this little guy, and funnily enough, I said I wanted the Supreme Pet the least out of the three, but seeing him in person, I actually don't mind him so much. I'll actually definitely be happy with any of the three, so I'll take the Supreme Pet. That is a big relief, and I'll still maybe go for the other two. I'm not sure I'm going to do it as often, although pretty much it's the only thing I've still been doing in-game because I've forgotten how to do anything else in this game other than Dagannoth Kings, but it's a huge relief. That took maybe 200 or 300 hours combined, especially because I didn't always have a Twisted Bow or anything like that. Some of those items weren't even out yet when I started this journey, and of course I'm going to be smart about this. I tallied out right away so we can insure the pet. I see a lot of people who actually will finish a trip or something before they go out and teleport and insure their pet, which I think is really dumb because you could die, your internet could go out, or even your power can go out, so you definitely want to eliminate all those possibilities right away and insure the pet instantly because it can take a long time to get one of these. But hey, we're not done. We have a couple more rings to show, which I got after the pet on another trip, and I also want to show you guys my collection log here, which is my up-to-date collection log, which is obviously only showing the rings since the collection log came out, and a lot of dragon axes. Just thought you guys might want to see that. So let's tally up the loot, but while we do that, here's a clip of these two guys who are clearly doing their first Dagannoth Kings trip ever, and this is a really weird clip. I almost died in this clip. I was on the phone, I was distracted, so a lot going on here. I don't even know how to commentate it, so let's just talk about the loot instead. So I got extremely lucky with the rings in this video. There's no way other than that to explain it. I got 11 Archer's rings, which based on current prices is about 63 mil, which is a ton of GP. Berserker rings I got very lucky with as well. I got around 11 of those, so 39 mil or so there. Seer's ring I got about average luck. I got 7 of those, which is 3.5 mil. The Warrior ring I got 15 of, including a few duos ones for all of these, but those were around 1 mil total, which is not bad for that many Warrior rings. I got the guaranteed drop of 2,500 Dagannoth Kings bones, which is around 22 mil. Those have actually gone up in price while the rings have gone down in price since the previous Dagannoth Kings video. The miscellaneous drops, the clue loots and all that added up to around 15 mil, which you might think is a very generous estimate, but I had pretty much a clue per trip, and you also saw some of those really good clues earlier, so I would say definitely at least 15 mil when you include those, the alkables, the battle stabs, things like that. So in total, we made around 142 mil GP, which is awesome. That means I can go and maybe get another Bible 99. I'm thinking of doing maybe Construction or Herblur. And it only took maybe around 33 hours based on my kills per trip and how long it takes for a normal trip. So I actually made over 4 mil per hour, which is absolutely insane for such a large sample size. Of course, I did get pretty lucky with the Archer and Berserker rings, and I spent some of that back on supplies. For example, the Serp Helm costs a lot of Zulrah scales because you're constantly in combat, as does the Trident, and the Super Restores can add up quite a bit, but still, this could easily be 2.5 to 3 mil per hour with the diary done and the best gear. It's a really, really great use of your time in RuneScape. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for the encouragement in previous videos. If I wasn't a YouTuber, I probably would have given up on the pet a long time ago, but because some of you guys really pushed me forward and tried to motivate me to get this pet, I continued through it, and eventually we had some success, so I really owe it all to you guys. Let me know if you guys would like to see a guide. I don't do Dagannoth Kings in the most efficient way, but I think the way I do it is very relaxing and maintainable. If you made it this far, I would really appreciate it if you left a like. I pretty much spent my entire Sunday on this video, and I'm probably going to have to spend a lot of time on it tomorrow, but that's okay. I'm really glad to have this video done, and I think it turned out very well. You can also subscribe for future pet hunting videos and click the bell to get notifications whenever I upload. You can check out all of my Dagannoth Kings videos in the playlist in the end screen or in the description. You can join my clan chat up on screen, AndrewAJT62. I actually do Dagannoth Kings with people in the clan quite often. Also, feel free to join the Discord down below. Even if you can't join the clan chat, you're definitely welcome in the Discord. You can follow me on Twitter down below. I'll follow you back if you play RS. You can follow me on Twitch down below. And lastly, you can check out my Patreon in the end screen where I offer different perks for various levels of support for the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Take care, guys.